And then I have a 14 to hit you, Red.
Nope.
And it whips around with its tail. And you duck just underneath it. That's going to bring us to Raazu.
Raazu's going to bring out the trident, close, and trigger Red's held action.
Yep.
Nope, that'll have an armor class of 9.
I mean, you're still reeling from the death ray.
Yeah.
Raazu.
Here we go. First attack is at advantage because... Thank you, Red. That is a 19, I believe, to hit? Yes, hit. 19 to hit. Okay. Then... So, again, with Trident, the unidentified Trident. We'll put some Paladin stink on this.
Okay.
Let's get some D8s out here. Try and put this thing down as quick as I can here. That is going to be 8 piercing damage.
Okay.
And 5 radiant damage.
You managed
Second attack.
to gouge a deep wound at the base of this thing's neck, and it is now bloodied.
Second attack. Within 30 feet here. That's 1, 2, 3. Probably not gonna. Yeah, that's only a 10 to hit.
Nope, he blocks your second attack and throws your trident in the side with one of his great tusks.
Okay. That's going to end Raazu's turn.
It's going to bring us back to Windy.
All right.
I took a big chunk out of it.
Yeah, I think that's the goal. I'm going to go in for a couple longsword swings.
Okay.
A few more solid hits and we should take it down, no problem.
That's a 10 and a 23.
And 23 will hit.
For another 10 damage.
Okay.
And make me a con saving throw.
22.
And flurry of blows.
Here we go.
That's a 16 and a very high.
Both of those hit.
For another 14 and make me 2 more con saving throws.
16.
All right.
And 15.
15 fail.
So what did you do to it?
He is now stunned.
And you ring this Catoblepus's bell as you aim your talons at its face and eyes. Moving or staying put?
Staying put.
Birdie, it is stunned.
Oh, well, in that case, I'm just going to shoot it with an arrow.
Because you weren't going to shoot it with an arrow otherwise?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, you have advantage on this roll.
Oh, there's a crit for that.
It's dead.
That's a crit.
That's the 1/2 special is what that is.
So here comes all the dice. I'm looking. I really want to get a crit on Raazu, so I can throw some more.
So that is 39 damage.
And you put
Are
the
you not
arrow
7th
directly through its neck. The thing spasms its great form once or twice, and then falls to the ground and stops moving.
Well, look down at it. Look up at Red. Didn't seem that dangerous.
No.
Oh, we were prepared for it.
Yeah, we were prepared for it. I think we're also maybe a little bit tougher than the sword that would
locals?
normally get killed by this thing.
Birdie's gathering all the poop spices.
To be fair, another hit like that might have dropped me.
And after the thing falls, Red and Raazu, make me a DC 16 Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, +3 to this, Red.
Is this against magic?
Nope.
17.
10.
Okay. The smell of this thing is so foul that it's starting to make you nauseous. Actually, it doesn't do anything to Red. He's immune to poison. Raazu, you realize that if you stay in the vicinity of this thing too much longer, you'll become poisoned.
Yeah, Raazu
Red,
puts
you
her
could
on.
harvest some of this poison. It would be
Oh yeah.
like an inhalant,
hmm
and if inhaled, a creature would be poisoned until the start of your next turn with 1 dose.
Do I have to make a poisoner's kit check for that?
Yes, to harvest it.
Raazu gets clear of the thing, covering her mouth and nose. It's like, ugh.
That is a.
Red,
14.
how common are these creatures?
What was it?
14.
A 14?
Mhm.
You harvest 2 doses of this poison.
Is that a bonus action to apply it?
You wouldn't apply this to a weapon. You'd have to...
Right. Sorry, it's an inhaled, right?
It's an inhalant. If you're trying to like make an action to make a ranged attack throw to throw it like a grenade kind of thing,
Okay.
it would create enough smoke to cover, or enough inhalant to cover a 5-foot radius, we'll say.
Does that last for a round?
Everybody who's affected by it makes the saving throw, and if they fail, they're poisoned until the start of your next turn.
And there's one other. You said there was 2 of those.
Yes, you're able to harvest 2 of these. So you guys get to watch. Red
What's the save DC?
Save DC is con save DC 16.
Pretty potent, I'd say.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
You guys watch Red work on this Catoblepus carcass, which is probably the most disgusting thing you've ever seen and smelled in your life.
Yeah, Red, how common are these things in these parts?
Don't know. Like I said, we always avoided them.
Yeah, I'm gonna help out Birdie on gathering these herbs so
Okay.
that we can finish this a little faster.
Poop spices.
You guys managed to gather a small pouch of these little peppercorns.
A little bit more for Mom.
Has anyone told Adrex that they're poisonous?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Because he was about to pop one in his mouth.
Let
They're
me put
only
it this
mildly
way.
poisonous.
If there was YouTube in this world, there'd be videos of people popping these like there are people that eat ghost peppers for entertainment.
So, like, they're like ghost pepper poisonous?
We're gonna find out because I'm gonna get a little bit. We're gonna have ourselves ghost pepper night.
By the way, Red, this Catoblepus that you're working on is 100% unfit for consumption. There would be no way to eat the meat of this thing without becoming poisoned.
So I could eat it.
It wouldn't taste very good.
Right.
Because I haven't prepared it yet.
Well, Wendy only
Fair.
do you even have the cooking proficiency yet?
No.
Then no, you can't cook this thing.
It still wouldn't taste very good.
Paramedic.
Listen, Wendy is very confident in her ability to make jerky, and that's about it.
Gordon Ramsay would
Gumbo?
yell at you.
So that's a
How
hell
am I
of a
gonna
call
learn
for-
if I don't cook bad things? You gotta
That's a
work
hell of-
through all the bad recipes.
That's a hell of a codec called a paramedic.
I'll catch you some cat. We can cook that instead.
My next D&D character is
You-
going to be work.
So now that you have a pouch of
Ramsay.
these peppercorns, what is the plan to make contact with the Tabashi?
Like,
I mean, I think we should go back to that merchant, leave them like, 1 or 2 of these and a couple of silver and say that this is, for, what was the Tabashi's name?
Sweetie
why
Bird.
not?
Sweetie Bird. These are for Sweetie Bird, and that we had more we would be interested in selling her if she would meet with us.
Okay.
Like Tweety Bird, but Sweetie.
You're not so much dealing with a merchant. These are just basically spice farmers here along
okay.
the river.
Humble mud farmers.
So you're giving them a couple of the spices for the Tabashi plus another silver.
Yeah, the silver
I'll
is for
buy a
the
few of
merchant.
their spices.
Instead of more coin, they would take some of this spice as payment for this to pass along this message for their personal use.
How much did we get?
You got a small pouch worth.
Like, so you,
Couple
are
ounces.
you trying to give him like 2 corns?
I mean, so how much of that? What would be reasonable to give them of that?
Make a charisma check.
Because I don't know. I think we should just give them the money.
I mean, we're not really trying to sell this. Remember?
Yeah, but
That's
I
a
want
charisma of 23.
Like an eighth or a tenth of the sack you have, enough for them to spice one meal.
Yeah, let's just do that.
I mean, they show their surprise and admiration that you're able to harvest any of this, because the creature that essentially guards it is known to be incredibly deadly. They said, "Do you know it has a death ray?"
Yeah, Red, do you know it as a death ray?
Is that what it's called in the
That's
book?
literally
Hold on.
what it's called in the book, a death ray.
Hold on, I have to
mean,
check this.
I think that might be overstating the ray a little bit.
Yeah, we're good at killing things, sure. But could you teach me how to cook this?
Are you going to spend downtime here?
Oh, I mean, we've got to wait for Sweetie Bird, right? I want to see how they're gonna prepare those peppercorns.
Oh no, they're not going to do it tonight. They're going to save it for a special occasion, for a marriage or a birth or something.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have like a little bit more? Fred, you said that we need like a tenth for a meal, right?
Yeah, so we got about 10 meals worth.
So if we take one of those, they can teach me how to cook it, and then they can have some with us. We can all share a meal. It'll be great.
So you want to give them a second one so that they specifically can teach you how to cook it, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, and then we can all share it. We'll become friends.
Or we could just keep it.
No, that sounds fun to me.
I mean, that's what you do with these spices, so okay.
I'm the one that got death raid.
Yeah, he kind of does have a little stronger vote than you, Birdie.
Everybody but Red, make a Constitution saving throw.
I'm good at these.
Everybody gets +3 to it.
Because we're all eating next to Raazu.
Everybody's sitting right next to Raazu, and then Red is sitting like across the table.
22.
All in her personal space. That is a 23.
14.
20.
14?
Yeah.
A little bit of this spice, it has an extremely savory flavor. It makes the food taste a lot more meaty, and it makes you salivate a great deal. Wendy, you're being salivating so much that your saliva becomes thick in your beak and on your tongue, to the point where you can't even swallow it anymore, and you start spitting it out, and you become very, very ill, and you're poisoned for 24 hours.
That's fine. It was worth it.
And the people who prepare the food apologize profusely. They tell you that a very skilled chef is able to cook the poison out of it during preparation.
You might want to practice a bit more before that wedding.
Who is going to take this? Oh, you're leaving a message for Sweetie Bird. Where do you tell her to meet you at, to seek you out?
What is there here? Like, what would be a reasonable place that's out of the way of most of these spice farmers?
There's a great lot of nothing. A lot of wilderness. At best, you could tell her the whereabouts of your camp.
You want to set up camp, like, maybe an hour's march away from the town?
Sounds about right.
Why don't we just set up camp, like, near the town?
Well, you know.
We don't want to impose.
I'm a little concerned if things go down poorly, that there might be some sort of magical crossfire.
Sure, that checks out. All right. An hour away it is.
So you march about an hour inland from the coast. You set up camp. And everybody takes the benefit of the long rest. Wendy, you're no longer poisoned.
Nice. Nailed it.
I'm not gonna tell anybody, but I'm gonna like dig. Like I don't want to rest. I'm gonna just dig like pit trap holes.
Okay.
Disguise them.
Well, I was about to ask you to make a perception check, but don't bother now.
Yeah.
Who is keeping lookout, since it's not Birdie?
Raazu will.
Yeah, I'll help keep lookout because I can detect things sneaking up on us.
Only within 60 feet.
Sure, but
Raazu,
that's what I'm saying. Like, Raazu can see things. If something's avoiding her sight, I can sense them.
Raazu, make a perception check.
10.
10?
Mm-hmm. Unless I get advantage from Wendy aiding me.
No, you don't.
Okay.
A second day passes. Who's keeping watch at night?
Adrex will.
Do you want
better
someone with
perception,
dark
probably.
vision to be there with you?
Yes, please.
So Red will also be on the night watch.
Okay. Red and Adrex, make separate perception checks. Adrex, you're making this at disadvantage.
Pair of 20s, here we go.
If that happens, I will be.
Not bad.
I got a 9, so.
A 9.
11.
Adrex.
Yeah.
You see movement in a tree. And it's very hard for you to make out because you don't have dark vision. You only have the light source here at your camp. But you see movement in a tree some 30 or 40 feet away from where you guys are stationed.
Adrex is going to try and stealthily go over to the tree.
He's going to... Should I even bother having you roll a stealth check?
I think it would be funny.
Yeah, you should, because I want to roll my perception against it.
Alright.
He gets disadvantage at this, right?
Yep.
That's pretty good. Oh,
20s.
not quite.
That is an 8.
An 8.
Alright, so I see him.
So you start stomping over towards this tree. With what intent?
To get a better look. See if you can identify it. What's rustling in the tree.
Okay.
I expected him to walk up and shake the tree.
He's trying to be stealthy. He's been watching Red. Red's really good.
Adrex,
Yes.
roll initiative.
Uh-oh.
Nobody else gets to roll.
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Ah, that's pretty fast.
Alright, 18.
Okay. Adrex, you're surprised.
Really?
As
Okay.
you walk down underneath this tree, you very suddenly, against your neck, feel metal pressing into it, as though from a knife. And you realize there's this loop of yellow fur stretching down from the tree around your neck, grasping this knife, holding it to your throat. Then you hear a heavily accented voice in the tree, a female's voice, speak in common, that she hears tell that you lot have come across a quantity of sun cheval. And then you hear a loud purring noise.
Yep. That's us.
And then she tells you that she will be taking it.
Well, we'd like to talk.
Red, here's what you see. You see Adrex walk down towards these trees, and then he just suddenly stops before he reaches the tree, and you see him being very still.
Well, he must think he's hiding again.
Adrex is also talking loud-ish.
Loud-ish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's Adrex. He's
Adrex
not one
can't
for
talk
solid.
quietly.
Yeah.
Adrex has no internal volume control.
And you feel the metal press on your neck, and the voice says it sure would be a shame if a volley of arrows were to come firing from your camp.
I'm going to sneak over there seeing that.
We're gonna get into a Mexican standoff
Red,
here.
you don't see the knife or anything. All you see is Adrex
Right, no.
standing still.
Well, when I hear Adrex talking like that, I'm going to try and slip into the shadows and sneak over. Unfortunately, I only got a 15.
Yeah, that would be terrible.
And then the voice says that your snaky companion isn't as quiet as he thinks he is.
Really? You should let him really give him an opportunity to do it, because he's amazing. Like, there are times where when I watch him like sneak away into something, he just
And the knife
vanishes.
moves against your neck.
Okay.
And the voice says, which of you is carrying the Sun Cheval?
I mean, probably Birdie.
But I don't know if Adrex would actually know that.
Well, Birdie was the one who was gathering most of it, so...
So, Red, you're starting to sneak away from the camp. What's your destination? Heading towards the tree?
Yeah.
Just leaving your companions asleep and unguarded behind you?
Yep.
Excellent. Adrex, the voice in the tree. This voice is whispering. Loud enough for you to hear it. But no louder than that. And it says that unless the snaky is coming to deliver her spice, you should tell him to stop moving.
Hey, Red, stop moving.
And I'll stop where I am at that.
Okay, you stop some 20 feet away from the tree or so.
I think if I had to guess, Birdie has the spices.
The voice asks the feathered one.
Yes.
I noticed you called him Birdie and not Rat Butt. Your instructions are to inform Snaky to slink back to camp, retrieve the spice, and then throw it at your feet.
Hey, Red, go back to camp and get the spices from Birdie and come back and throw it at the tree.
And he
Please.
corrects you at your feet.
At my feet. At my feet.
Sure. I'll go back to camp. I'll shake just Birdie awake.
Okay.
Birdie? Alright, something's going down. Here's what I need. I need you to give me the bag of spices, and I need you to give me those traps we got from the drow with the poison needles.
Birdie smiles and hands it all over.
And I am going to... What are my injury poisons right now? Drow poison, not that potent.
Birdie really likes this plan.
And I am going to coat one of these needles with drow poison and apply it on the inside of the pouch so that when you open it, it stabs them.
Okay.
And then I am going to... Alright, and if you can, try and don't stay out of line of sight of that tree. Try and get into cover and sneak over around behind it as I'm going. I'm going to go a little slowly. Wake the others up as soon as I'm out of the camp, but tell them not to make any noise.
Okay.
And I'll start coming back.
As quietly as I can, I try to wake everybody up.
Okay. And the
And
rest of you
inform
are
them.
shaken awake by Birdie.
I give him I give him a shush, and then I try to sneak into the darkness.
Roll that stealth
Alright,
check.
I'll sneak after Birdie.
All right, that is a 28.
28. Okay.
And mine is a 23.
Raazu just stirs and sits up.
And I will slowly, making a point to not go any faster, and just to non-brisk walking pace, walk back with the spice out in front of me,
Okay.
so it's obvious that I'm carrying something. And I'll wait until the voice tells me. I'll wait until someone tells me to stop. Just walking straight towards Adrex.
And when Red gets close enough, you hear the voice say, "Tell Snaky to stop," and throw the bag at your feet.
Can you remove the blade from my neck? I mean, it's kind of uncomfortable and it's freaking me out a little bit.
And you feel it press closer into your neck.
Okay. Red, toss the bag at my feet, please. Stop moving.
It's just gonna nervously tinkle.
And I will throw the bag at Adrex's feet.
We just wanted to talk.
And the voice says, "Thanks you for your time," and says that would be all. And then you hear a loud crack as the branch gives way above you, and the tabashi falls out of the tree and lands on top of you.
Oh, duh.
And begins scrambling very quickly to try to grab the bag and get away.
Can I, grapple her?
Sure.
This will
Make
be
a
fun.
strength
It
athletics
is
check.
ferocity.
Sorry, say that again.
Strength athletics check.
Good news is, I'm theoretically good at that.
Theoretically.
Here's that
Here
one.
comes
Don't say that, Brick Road.
Oh, that's all
That
right.
is a 17.
A 17.
Yeah.
And Red, you could probably see that
Mhm.
the look on this Tabashi's face is like mortification, like embarrassment. As she scrabbles on the ground and tries to snap up this bag and turn and flee on all fours, Adrex lashes out and grabs her around the tail. And she squeals, unable to escape. The knife that she was holding at the tip of her tail clatters to the ground at Adrex's feet.
Hey guys, I have Sweetie Bird.
Raazu stands up, starts walking over, clapping.
And when she sees there's no escape, she stops running and turns around, and you can just see this embarrassment in her face that she got caught in the stupidest way imaginable.
I will walk over, pick up the bag, and disarm the needle on it.
Okay.
That's not
Just
a great
stuff
way
that
to
back
describe
in my
Adrex.
pouch.
Thank you.
Okay, you salvage the needle for use another day.
Rub the poison.
She insists over and over, in kind of a begging fashion, that she was never going to actually hurt Adrex. And you see she doesn't seem to be carrying any other weapons.
Can I do an insight on that one?
You can roll insight on that.
Adrex sort of touches where the blade went into his neck, and seeing just the right amount of blood coming out. Like,
It's not bleeding. She didn't actually cut you.
All right.
That's a 26.
She's under the distinct impression that now that she's been captured, there's no way you're going to spare her life. She's trying to
Right.
talk her way out of this situation that she got herself into.
I'm pretty
She
sure
was
she's
trying
just
to
saying,
act really... she was trying to act like a big bad pirate a moment ago, and now that facade is completely destroyed.
I'm pretty sure she's just going to say whatever she thinks will make us not kill her right now, by the way.
Well, we're not going to kill her.
And she clasps her hands together, and she thanks you for that. She tells you that's very gracious of you.
Birdie whispers from the Birdie whispers from the shadow, but we're not going to let you go either.
So to start, how about fair market price for the spice?
And
Or we
she
could keep
nods
it-
very swiftly. She says that she has plenty of gold. That she can get as much gold as you want.
Okay.
So Birdie breaks stealth and runs forward and starts looking over her for tattoos.
Start
tats?
looking over her for tattoos.
Yeah,
She's wearing a simple black leather tunic and breeches.
I mean,
And that's about it. She's not wearing any other identifying markings that you can tell. She's covered in this like light, almost blonde yellow fur. And you do not see any visible tattoos, runes, or markings.
Raazu walks up to her and then says, "Well, I'll show you mine if you show me yours." Pulls off her glove, holds out her hand to show the mark on it.
She interprets that as a kinky sex thing.
Mhm.
So you pull off your glove and show her the mark.
Yeah.
And she looks at it, and her eyes get very wide. And she looks around at the rest of you, and she kind of sheepishly says, "All of you?"
Raazu nods.
And then she looks back at Raazu and says, "Then you must have heard of Captain Eyes."
Finally, we're talking.
Only by reputation and rumor. Nothing more than that.
And then she kind of, you see the realization dawn on her as she kind of says, mostly to herself, then the ploy with the spice was just to capture me and make me take you to the captain. And I fell for it.
Birdie pats her reassuringly on the shoulder. There.
Holy shit, where did that come from?
Wendy drops down out of stealth behind Adrex and puts a towel into his neck. Now give me the spice, Adrex!
Red has it.
Raazu looks to everybody and says, "Maybe we should go into the light, be a little more comfortable. How about that?"
Why would that be more comfortable?
I'm fine out here.
Raazu
kinda-
looks at Adrex.
Yeah, I kind of nod towards Adrex.
Adrex drags Sweetie Bird by the tail into the fire.
Into the fire?
Towards
That's
the
wrong.
fire.
That's
And she comes with you willingly as you move
Okay.
towards the fire. Cautiously, but willingly. You're not letting go of her tail.
No.
She doesn't seem to be making any moves to escape. She does pick up her dagger, though.
That's fine.
that's fair. We're all alarmed. It's only fair.
She asks you what you all want with Captain Eyes.
Birdie just rubs his hands together.
We
Like-
seek more knowledge about these marks that we have because we
Yeah, like,
obtain
does he
these.
know how to cook this spice for real?
Sweetie Bird, when Wendy interrupts Raazu and starts talking about the spice, you see a lot of the anxiety on her face melt away, and she turns to Wendy. First thing she says is, "You must be Birdie."
Absolutely.
She tells you that cooking this spice is extremely takes a lot of care and a great amount of skill, but done properly, it puts so much heat and umami flavor into the food, and that it's so rare to get a hold of. And she begins speaking with great reverence and expertise about this spice.
Yeah, Wendy's asking pointed questions.
And the rest of you watch on as this discussion has very suddenly turned to the Food Network.
Nice.
When you realize that you are definitely in the presence of a master chef.
Birdie whispers, "What's umami mean?"
I think it's like daddy.
It's just a pretentious word that chefs use. That's all it is. I heard Albert Brown say it once, so I know it's real.
Daddy.
I nod
Adrex repeats the joke
sagely.
4 or 5 more times to make sure everyone heard it.
Yeah.
Food Network. So, Raazu doesn't immediately try to steer the conversation back to
Yeah, no.
the more
let
relevant
let
topic.
them do their thing.
It does become apparent that these two are going to be talking about cooking for as long as you allow it.
for the 2 weeks remaining to train.
And then Raazu holds up a hand and says, "Okay, let's reel it in, everyone, because again, we would like an audience with your captain."
Don't worry, we can talk later. I can get to the ship. I can fly.
She says that she didn't know that Aarakocra could fly.
What?
She says that she's never seen her friend C aboard the Deceit, which is the name of the ship with gray sails. She has wings, much like you do, but she's never seen her fly.
Are they damaged somehow?
She doesn't know. She's just never seen her fly.
Huh.
As to Raazu's question, she says that if all of you have these markings of magic, that it's likely that Captain Eyes would find a place for you amongst his crew. That's how she came aboard.
Willingly?
She tells you that she and C were escapees from Melvin Ponce. That they were prisoners in essentially a traveling circus. And when they visited a coastal town in Melvin Ponce, just when the Deceit happened to raid, and they pled for Captain Eyes to take them away on his boat. And he refused until they were both able to demonstrate that they had markings of magic. She tells you that she has the ability to purify food and water. She doesn't know what C's magic does.
A handy ability out to sea, I can imagine.
But she's very careful to assure Windy that there's no magic necessary in making safe this particular spice. That is all skill.
Oh, I believe you.
Well, as I said, spice, would it be able to buy us an audience with your captain?
She says if you want an audience with Captain Eyes, to give her the spice and let her go.
Where's your mark?
She tells you that's a secret.
Don't make me take your clothes off and look.
And she wields her dagger and invites you to try it.
Raazu cuffs Birdie upside the head.
Birdie falls face forward in the ground.
She would laugh at that, except she did like the exact same thing a few moments ago.
He's very
It's just a hurtful
overzealous.
memory.
He's very overzealous when it comes to acquiring magical knowledge.
She tells you you don't really have a choice in the matter. If you don't let her go and you keep her captive, then
Oh yeah,
the Deceit is going to assume that she was taken or killed while she was ashore gathering supplies and leave without her.
then
Well,
by all
we can't have
means.
that, can we?
How about this? We'll give you half of it, and then you'll get the rest once we're on board the ship.
Make a persuasion check, Raazu. Make it at advantage, because you have something she really wants, and she is looking for a way out of this encounter safely.
That's not that great. That's only a 12.
A 12?
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
Does Raazu actually intend to make good on that word if you give her the half?
Absolutely.
Okay. She kind of despairingly tells you that that's amenable.
Okay.
Give her half of the spice. She tells you of a mooring up to the north, clear of the river.
Sure.
A place with high visibility from the seas. She tells you to go there. In 3 days' time, if the captain is agreeable to a meeting with you, you'll see the gray sails on the horizon. They'll send boats for you.
All right. That's fair.
She tells you if she looks over her shoulder and sees that she's being followed, the deal's off.
Raazu looks to the others and nods and says, "That's agreeable, right?"
Sure.
Adrex shrugs.
Or it is the never mind.
And you let her go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she takes her half of the spice and then scampers very quickly off to the south, in the complete opposite direction she told you to find this mooring.
So, question: why did you tell her your name was Birdie?
She asked.
That's technically true. I have a headache now.
Well, 3 days time. We're about how far away is it gonna? How long is it gonna take us to get there? About a day's travel, it said.
About half a day's, perhaps. You'd be able to
Alright.
get to this spot, and then you'd be waiting for a couple of days.
I mean, are we in danger of pissing off the Yuan-ti in that area?
No, you'd be out of the swamp
No.
at this point.
You don't piss off Yuan-ti. If you're there, they'll simply grab you. They don't, they don't have opinions about things. It wouldn't matter if you were there for days or seconds.
Okay. Well, the sooner we're out of these swamps, the happier I'll be.
Okay?
I don't know. It reminds me of home. I like it here.
You guys can take 3
Yeah, I
days
don't
worth of
like it
downtime actions if you want. As you're waiting
I'm
for
okay
the gray
with-
sails.
I'm okay with doing Moakton for those 3 days.
16.
3 days?
3 days.
I want to see if I can learn that rune.
Which rune?
It was
He rolled a 20 on one.
Elemental. Elemental weapon.
Okay.
Yeah, elemental weapon.
Oh yeah, I know he drew the rune. I just didn't remember which
could-
spell he wanted.
You can just make this at advantage, right?
Mm-hmm. 3 days worth of advantages.
Yeah. So 6 dice.
One of them has to be a 20. That's
Yeah.
all I need.
Yeah.
Just 120.
Yeah.
I
So-
believe you.
We need to keep track of how many dice it takes for him to actually learn this.
No 20s.
There are no 20s.
Nothing.
I'm gonna go back to spice farmers and buy some spices from them and get them to teach me how to cook them.
Okay, we'll count this as your cooking training.
Mhm.
That's fine.
I just worked on some more poisons.
Okay. And 3 days hence, at midday, you do see gray sails appear on the horizon. And sprawled out on the sail are just a pair of closed eyes.
You said Captain Eyes was his name?
She was calling him Captain Eyes.
Captain
It's a little
Eyes.
That's a little on the nose.
No, it's on.
No, it's on the eyes.
Dun, 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 dun.
If he was Captain Glasses, that would be on the nose.
Right.
I guess we wait until they send out a skiff to meet us or something.
And they do, in fact. A dinghy is being rowed up to shore. Being rowed by a pair of bugbears.
Hmm.
In the dinghy, you see Sweetie Bird, and you also see an incredibly large human man. Large
give me the rest of the
and
thoughts.
hairy, and his right hand is gone, and in its place is an iron hook.
Awesome. All
Birdie, will
right.
you give me the rest of the spice?
Large tall or large wide?
Both.
Red had it.
Okay.
Alright.
Like, you know how ridiculously proportioned the superheroes are in, like, the Paul Dini Batman universe? Like, every man looks like a linebacker. That's this guy.
So basically, we have Aquaman from Justice League here.
Yeah, pretty much. Except much hairier. 2 bugbears are rowing this little dinghy. And as they approach the shore, Raazu, you say you're taking the spice?
Yeah,
Doing what with it?
holding it in my hand.
And when Sweetie Bird sees that you're holding it, she dives out of the dinghy and swims swiftly to shore and scampers up to you on all fours and snatches it out of your hand.
Nope. Holds up one as she's scampering up. She holds up her hand, then one finger, and says, "Our deal was we're on the deck of your ship talking with your captain. That's when you get it."
You hear the man giving orders to the bugbears. He's speaking perfect goblinoid. Just orders to pull up the boat and stop. He steps out and wades ashore. Looks over the 5 of you very grimly. So you 5 don't look like much to me. Now he's speaking in common.
Birdie
Up
says,
until that point, Adrex has been staring at his tail. And to the untrained eye, it would look like Adrex is actually chasing his tail. But you guys know that this is just the thing Adrex does when he's bored.
Boy, he's chasing his tail.
Birdie puffs up his chest and says, "I'll have you know, I am very tall for a kobold."
That's not true.
It is true,
We met a bunch of kobolds.
and I'm very tall for them.
I think I would remember that.
He looks at Raazu first. Says, right then. Let's see the mark.
Raazu looks at Sweetie Bird, then passes the spice to Red, and then pulls her glove off and shows it to him.
And Sweetie Bird takes a step over and sidles up next to Red. Then he looks
Shows
over
it
at Red. Red, you make no attempts to cover yours, correct? It's just on your lips.
Actually, I did because I disguised myself this.
Okay.
We're still in Yuan-ti territory.
So the next he looks at you and asks to see your mark.
All right, one moment. I'll hand the spice back to Raazu. I'll take my hood
Sweetie Bird
off.
sidles up over next to Raazu.
Pour some water into my hands for my water skin and wash the makeup off.
And he scoffs. He said, I asked to see it, not for you to pucker up.
Look closer.
I mean, does he...
And then he asks the rest of you in turn to display your marks as well.
I'll put my hood back up.
Okay?
I'll dramatically billow my cloak, revealing mine.
Okay.
Birdie will ask, "Where's yours? I want to see yours." Also, the cat. I want to see the cats.
Do you show him your mark?
Like not yet, because I'm like,
Then he tells you he hopes you enjoy the beach, and he looks at Adrex.
Fine. I'll show it to him.
Okay?
Adrex does not break eye contact as he removes his glove. And holds up his hand.
He looks at your hand, and back to Raazu. So you two sweethearts.
Not quite. He's a nice guy and all, but he's just not my type.
He says that's a damn shame. Then he turns back to the bugbears and gives them orders for 3 of them to exit the boat. Come over to you. He says, you're going to relinquish your weapons to my men. Then I will take you aboard to see Captain Eyes.
All right, so Red takes the rapier off his sword belt, takes the 2 short swords off of his backpack, pulls out his short bow, pulls out 6 daggers, and quietly leaves 2 hidden inside his boots.
Okay. Anybody who's trying to keep one of their weapons that's already concealed on their person, make a hide check. Or, let's call it either deception or sleight of hand. One of the 2.
It's a 16 on deception.
Okay, so you're keeping 2 daggers on you?
In the boots, the same as I always have them, like when I got conked in the head.
Okay.
Adrex hands over the hand axes, hands over his javelins, hands over his shield, and says, "Trust me, that's kind of a weapon. You don't want me to have that." Then looks at his longswords and just closes his eyes and says, "These are brand new, okay? I just got these. Please don't."
And the bugbears immediately trip and they drop in the water and rust.
Raazu hands over halberd, javelins, trident, and a whip.
Are they wearing gloves?
Oh yeah, Raazu will warn them. This thing has some kick to it. This trident has some kick to it. You don't want to handle this without gloves.
I have a Kopesh too.
Okay.
What?
Adrex hands over the Kopesh.
What about all those bone weapons from the Feywild?
Yeah, those two. Yeah. Those aren't.
These guys are carrying an enormous amount of weapons.
Yeah,
Wendy,
no,
you concealing
it's
anything?
very much that scene from Lord of the Rings. Where
Yeah, exactly.
The,
That's why there's 8 daggers on my person at this point.
Have you guys ever seen Bowling for Columbine, where there's a scene where the kid's like showing how many guns you can hide on the person, and he
Right.
pulls out this gargantuan like machete out of his pants? I'm like, no, come on. Wendy, are you concealing any weapons?
Nah.
And what about Birdie?
I am concealing my 1 dagger, and I rolled that's a 19 on the sleight of hand.
Okay.
Wendy is the concealed weapon.
Which of you have magic weapons other than Raazu? I don't think anybody actually does, do you?
Technically, my bow has that magical string.
Has the string, okay. In Goblinoid, so Birdie, you understand, he's giving orders to the bugbears to take special attention to Adrex's shield, Wendy's longsword that she took from Mulush the orc, the quiver of orcish arrows that you were gifted at the dam, and Rasu's trident. He instructs them to take special care, as these will be given to the captain as tribute.
Raazu is no. No, that wasn't part of the arrangement.
And the man laughs and says, "Are you meaning to set terms for the good captain? Shall I let him know that you are his better?"
This was a.
I took that sword from the person I killed. He can do the same if he wants it.
At this point, the weapons are being loaded up into the boat.
So we don't actually have a choice in the matter anyway.
It's fine. I can take it back.
Red just gives Raazu a meaningful look and hopefully gets a point across. Like, if you want, there's a dagger in that guy's back right now. Before we get on board this boat.
His last instruction to you before you all get on the boat is he tells Raazu to give Sweetie Bird that spice pouch so she doesn't pee herself in the boat.
That sounds like a reasonable request.
That was our arrangement was we would give Sweetie Bird the spice once we were talking to your captain.
It's fine. What is she gonna do? Choke you with the spice? She's too good a cook for that. Weren't you paying attention?
Raazu lets out a very long, world-weary sigh before handing the spice over.
Rasu's like, "I just want somebody to acknowledge that I'm a badass. Please."
Basically, yes.
The bugbears roll you back over to the deceit. And now I get to load up another image.
Oh my gosh. It's almost as if you were prepared for this sort of nonsense.
Almost. You have no idea how many rooms I had to make in the past 48 hours.
I bet.
I was triple checking all of them to make sure I didn't mess any of them up.
Should just use that one vote from the DMG.
There
That
are
looks
so
just
many
like the Flumph.
rooms on this boat that I had
Oh.
to use Greek letters for some of them. And here is the deceit.
Wow, you had to use an alpha. Oh my god.
And a beta.
Wow.
Where's the beta?
Oh,
It's
in the
Adrex.
front. In the front.
Wow.
Got him.
That was a little
Harsh.
spirited.
That was very
Yeah.
harsh.
It's harsh, bro.
The boat has 2 great gray sails. It also has an entire rowing gallery below deck, so it can move against the wind and against currents if need be. It's fairly large and not as densely populated as you might have imagined. There's a lot of activity aboard the ship as you guys are rowing in and they start hauling the anchor to set back out to sea. The man introduces himself as Ned Noakes.
Ned Noakes.
He says if the captain decides to take you on, enter you into the ship's ledger, as far as you're concerned, he is your god. You will do what he says, when he says it, and you will do it without complaint. He points to one of the bugbears that has half of his ear torn off and a large scar on his face. Says he complained once. Once.
Hmm.
Ned Noakes tells you he's the 4th most dangerous person in Sigil.
I get that reference.
I should hope so. And you guys are taken aboard the vessel. You see large ballistas on the fore and aft of the ship being manned, and this very hodgepodge crew of all different types of people. Noakes is the only man that you see, the only human. There's the bugbears in the boat with him. You see a couple of orcs scattering about, a pair of female rat folk. There is the Aarakocra sea up in the crow's nest. Who else is on deck? And you were greeted on the ship as you come up onto the deck by an extremely beautiful woman with elven features. And she's wearing robes and has flowing silver hair. And just like Windy's cloak, these things seem to move irrespective of the actual wind.
Adrex lets out a small gasp.
And she welcomes you very warmly. She says she hopes that Noakes didn't manhandle you too badly.
No.
And then
Only 3 or 4 threats, which is less than usual.
And then she dismisses Noakes. Noakes pays immediate deference to this woman. He simply nods gruffly and barks some orders to his bugbears to kind of batten down this dinghy to the vessel. And then he goes about taking control of the men on the ship. The woman tells you that, regrettably, the captain sleeps during the day. But if you indeed bear the marks that Sweetie Bird says you do, he will be more than delighted to meet with you this evening.
Birdie raises his hand. When can we have our stuff back?
As soon as the captain assesses that you are not a danger to himself or this vessel. If you bring no harm or hostility to any of the crew, and you don't go to the areas where you are not allowed, she sees no reason why you and she should not get along swimmingly.
What areas are we not allowed to go to?
Anywhere up on the main deck, so anywhere in C, A, or B. Below deck, on the first deck here, the O deck here, that is the lower deck in the rowing gallery. This area here in the forecastle is off limits. Back here is not technically off limits, but she says that there's nothing there that you would have much interest in. That's like the officer's mess back there. There's a workshop, storeroom, and she tells you that the most important man on the ship dwells there. That you may, during your time waiting for the captain to awaken, it may be prudent to very politely make your acquaintances with him.
I'm always polite, don't worry.
Below decks, there is a kitchen and a mess hall in this center area here, T and S. You're allowed to go there. All of these areas are off limits. These are all officers' quarters. And there's more officers' quarters in the back. However, in the very back here is... Oops, I'm on the wrong port of my document here. There it is. That's the standard crew quarters. You're allowed there, but at any point, day or night, there are people sleeping in that room. And you rouse them at your own peril. The cargo deck below that is off limits to you, but other than that, you guys have free reign of the ship. Except for those areas, and don't attack anybody. Your weapons are all taken below deck, except for the 4 items that Noakes specified. Those are taken directly towards the captain's quarters.
What did she say her name was? Or has she introduced herself?
She hasn't yet.
Okay. Adrex speaks in Elvish. Oh, my fair maiden. Thank you very much for explaining everything on the ship to us. But I believe I haven't caught your name yet.
What are we doing for dinner?
She says that she has no idea what you just said, and it sounded very, very pretty. And she cautions you to not allow the captain hear you speak to her like that.
I see.
She smiles broadly while she says this. But she has no idea what you said.
I don't believe we've had introductions yet. I am Adrex.
Forgive me. I am Calcine.
Calcine. Charming to meet your acquaintance.
Birdie stares at Windy and says, "My name is Windy."
I'm the pattern formed as the wind blows over the sands. It's nice to meet you, Windy.
Windy, Birdie, and Adrex. Just the 3 of you. You are all informed that there are others of your kind on the ship. Windy, Calcine indicates up to the crow's nest, where they have their day lookout, C, is an Aarakocra. Birdie, the night lookout. His name is Ugra Underfoot. Is the only kobold aboard the vessel. Most of the men call him Scampers. And
I find
Adrex.
that mildly racist.
Whatever, they put my bird in the crow's nest.
The ship's bosun is a copper dragonborn who is as at home in the water as he is on land. And she thinks that perhaps at least some of you would be able to make fast friends aboard the vessel. And then she leaves you to your own devices for the rest of the afternoon. Let's go ahead and take our break there, and when we come back, let's get into some trouble aboard this boat. What do you say?
Sounds like fun.
All right. Let's break now. Let's reconvene at 4:35-ish.